Hi, this is Jen from the Crocheters of Awesome blog, and today I want to talk about allergy-friendly yarns and fibers. So a couple of the comments I've gotten has been, from other people who have allergies, whether it's a wool allergy or to a specific yarn or a specific blend. So I just want to go through a few of my favorite things. The holiday season is coming. So if you have yarn or fiber on your holiday gift receiving or giving lists, you may want to try some of these. They're kind of cool. So first I'm going to start with spinning fiber, because Ida was talking about spinning cotton. And I have spun cotton, but I end up liking the blends better. Partly because I'm not a super great spinner. I spin for fun. I don't do it a lot, so my technique is kind of middling. But I'm happy with it, and so that's okay. Cotton can be tricky because of the short staple, and I think you have to be a little bit picky about the vendors that you buy it from. For example, I bought some beautifully dyed cotton on Etsy, and I couldn't spin it to save my life because the dye had actually compacted the fibers so badly. So be a little bit picky about that. So I end up going with other providers for that. Allergy friendly wise, I have two spinning fiber vendors that are amazing. They both know that I have wool allergies, so not only do they offer fibers without wool, but they're also careful about when handling my fibers, so that I know when I get the package, I can be relatively certain that I'm not going to have a problem with it. The first one is Jen over at Blaine Fleece and Fiber, and I've been spinning some of her fiber over the last couple months, and so you've probably seen me talk about that. In particular, these two skeins here. This was spun from a skein from Bats, and this one was spun from Sheepy Shells. They both kind of suffer from blurple disease. They're both actually really purple looking in my hand, but they come across blue there. Sorry about that. But the shells, I have some unspun here to show you. The Sheepy Shells in particular are so easy to spin. They're carded and rolled up in such a way that all you have to do is pull from one end and the whole thing just spins perfectly from that. This particular one has faux cashmere, soft silk, fire star, faux wool, nylon. It's amazing. The colorway is Beau Truckles for this with the greens. Isn't that cool? The Bats are the same blend of fibers. They're just prepared differently. So if you haven't seen a bat of fiber, it's kind of like it's like a square yard of fiber that's kind of carefully folded and rolled up into a nice little bat. And so you should check those out. I know Jen has an update coming up she's got Christmas inspired by Harry Potter and Doctor Who. So check out her shop. I'll have it linked below, and check out those fibers, because I can speak very highly for her. And if you have allergies, just tell her you have allergies and she'll run yours when she runs mine. The other one is Shannon over at Supernatural Yarns. She has spinning fiber. She offers faux cashmere and faux wool, which are both 100% nylon, and also silk and sometimes bamboo. And I've had all of them. They're all wonderful. Again, if you tell her you have allergies, she'll try to be a little careful about handling your stuff. But here's an example of the faux cashmere. Let me open that up. This is Prisoner of Azkaban colorway, but look, it comes in a nice braid that you can easily go from or separate however you want. Faux cashmere has a soft and squish factor like you would not believe. You need to try it. That's partly why Jen uses it in some of her things, in some of her blends also. It's amazing. It spins wonderfully. And then another one, this is Goblet of Fire colorway. This is faux wool. So this is a little bit tighter. It's a little bit stiffer. It has a little bit more grab. It's a little more wool-like. but still super soft, easy to spin, great colors. They're both amazing. So I'll have them linked below. I'm not sure when Shannon is going to have another update, but for both of them, if you are on Ravelry, join their groups, Blaine Fleece and Fiber or Supernatural Yarn, and ask to be placed on their earburn list, and they will earburn you when they're going to have an update, and you'll be in the know on everything. So those are my favorites for spinning fibers, and the yarn just turns out wonderfully. But I want to talk about yarns a little bit too. So here's the thing. Not all acrylic is treated equal, and sometimes you get what you pay for. There's a particular brand that's inexpensive and available everywhere that I cannot go near to save my life. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the manufacturing, if it's the dyes they use. I don't know. The way they prepare their acrylic. Don't know what it is. I can't use it. I get hives. Even when I'm working on it, I get wheezy. Can't go near it. I'm sure that those of you with allergies have a brand that is the same for you, and you kind of have to try brands and see which ones work a little better for you. So for my chain store brands, I try to stick with Karen, Lion Brand, Bernat. Those three do me pretty well, and each of them have a variety of styles as far as worsted and chunky and baby and all those kinds of things. But generally speaking, if I'm using those brands, I can pretty well trust that they will treat me well. But for my regular acrylic, my regular workhorse acrylic, like some of the blankets I've recently done, I've made sweaters, I've bags, anything that's got to just be able to throw in the wash. Kid stuff is, I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby. It's fairly inexpensive. I think it was $3.60 for a skein, and it's still soft and yet solid. Sorry about that. It's solid. It's not too fluffy like some can be. And if I'm going to go for something where I have to get large quantities of Easy Care yarn, that's usually it. They've got a lot of great colors. However, they've got Hobby Lobby has Yarn Bee Baby Bee, which is a great DK sport acrylic, but it's very staticky and clingy and fuzzy. So if I'm going to do shawls or things that I want on a finer scale, there's actually yarn at Michael's, which normally the Michael's brand yarn is another one that I can't use, however they manufacture it. But they have this wool-like, which is fingering weight. I guess you can't see it there in the package very well. It's very soft. It works up really nicely. I've made shawls. I've done a lot of charity items for it. It's nice and thin, and it comes in a lot of great colors. Again, I stocked up. Every now and again they have sales where it's $1.99 a skein. I mean, how can you pass that up? It's amazing. I don't have any problems with this yarn, even though I do have problems with other loops and threads yarn. That one's wonderful. And then also along that line are the new cake yarns. So you might recall a month or so ago, I'm sorry for shaking that. That was me. I did a whole thing on cake yarns and which ones I liked and how they worked out. And the Hobby Lobby version and the Premier version are okay. But my favorites are Bernat Pop. This is Paisley, I think. Paisley Pop. So squishy, 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 squishy. The blanket I'm making right now is in this yarn, and it's amazing. Again, Easy Care, washable. It's nice and solid and thick, no splitting. I love it. But for a little bit finer and a little more yardage, and again, some great colors, Lion Brand Mandala is my new favorite yarn of all time. It's a little bit fuzzy. It's super solid. I just made a slouchy hat and some mitts out of it. It doesn't split. The colorways are long. There's almost 600 yards in this skein. and I think it was $4.99 at Walmart, 600 yards for $5. It's all acrylic. I've had no problems with it. So those are my, the chain store brands that work really well for me. But if you're looking to try something a little bit exciting, or if you're looking for gift ideas, here's a few that I have that I also know and love well. So for the cottons, one of my favorite cottons is Knit One Crochet Two tie-dye. This is a coffee colored colorway that I bought to make a bag out of. I've made a couple of bags out of this yarn years ago, and they still look like the day I made them. They're amazing. I've even run them through the wash. Super, super great for those kinds of things. It's soft. I mean, I'm not sure I would make a garment out of it. You could, but it might be a little heavy for that in cotton. But wonderful for utility items like bags that you want to be pretty, and yet they got to be able to take a beating. Another cotton is, I don't know how you say this, sheepies. I'm guessing it's sheepies, right? This is Whirl, and it's a cotton acrylic blend, 60% cotton, 40% acrylic. But look at that long gradient colorway. Isn't that awesome? So this is more fingering weight. It'd make a beautiful shawl. This one would make a gorgeous shawl because it's so fine. And the blend makes it a little bit lighter than 100% cotton. No problems with this. I haven't tried anything else from this particular brand at the moment, but I do plan on it as soon. Gotta kind of work through what I've got first. Let's see what I have here. This is local. All right. Let's stick with cotton. Sunseeker Shade by Cascade Yarns is another one that's a blend that I really like. I've made everything from shawls to hats to gloves to bags, everything out of this. It's the same brand that does Ultra Pima cotton, which is also wonderful and comes in a lot of colors. This is fingering to sport weight. Again, it doesn't split, and I don't have any problems with any of the Cascade Yarn products. This just happens to be the one I have on hand. And then we're going to move on to other fibers. I don't know if you've ever heard of Elizabeth Levold's Hempathy. This is a Hempathy print. I'm trying to see what the color is. A Sandy Beach. Isn't that gorgeous? So this is a blend of hemp and cotton and modal. It's fingering weight. It feels a little bit like linen when you're crocheting it, but like linen, once it gets used and washed and loved, it softens up and gets this great kind of halo about it. Gorgeous. I bought this to make a bag with. I'm probably going to make a tote bag that I can take to the beach next time. But I don't have any problems with this brand. My favorite cotton bamboo blend at the moment right now is Valley Yarns Southwick. I don't know if you can see this. The lighting doesn't really allow it, but there is such a sheen to this yarn because of the bamboo that it's gorgeous. I've used this for several projects, hats, bags. You could make a sweater out of this. It's light enough between the cotton and the bamboo, as long as you're aware that it will grow. So if you do something, if you make a garment out of it, and shawl probably doesn't matter, but if you make something that has to fit, be aware that it will the natural drape of it will make it grow just a smidge. Again, love this brand. Then some of my favorites. Let's do this one next. This is actually a local. It's Mary Gavin Canyon. It's cotton and rayon blend. This is Sedona Sunset colorway. And if you've ever been to Arizona or Sedona, you know that this is exactly the right color for a Sedona Sunset. This is my favorite indie dyer cotton blend. The rayon gives it a little bit of shine. The cotton keeps it light and dry. And so this one is wonderful for garments. I actually made a poncho, which I'll try to remember to link below. out of this yarn several years ago. It's one of my favorites. I can wear it several ways because it has buttons. So you can wear it like a traditional diamond or go it sideways, or you can actually even button it up like a shrug. It's a gorgeous pattern. It's wonderful in that yarn. It's so pretty. But moving on. So then now we're into luxury-ish kinds of yarns. And some of them I don't have to show you. So for example, my favorite silk yarn, 100% silk yarn, is from Miss Babs. They have mulberry silk and wild silk, and in a lot of colorways. Mulberry silk is the shiny one. Wild silk is the one that's a little more toothy. It has a little more of a halo. It is absolutely gorgeous. Trust me on that. So that's a great gift. But I also like handmade yarns. This particular one is sea silk. It's part silk and part sea cell, which is their way of getting tencel from seaweed. It has that great shine. It's super, super soft. Comes in some fun colorways. This one is Morgana. Makes beautiful shawls, and any other lightweight garments would be fantastic for that. And then my favorite super, super luxurious at a great price is Prism Delicato Layers. This particular one is Jasper, and I've kind of unwound my skein a little bit there for my shelf, but you can see the colors there. It's got a little bit of a shine. It's probably half the price of silk and yet feels exactly like silk. So if you make a shawl or a scarf or something close to your skin, oh my gosh, gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. My favorite one when I can't splurge enough for silk. So I hope that gives you a few ideas. And if you have brands that work well for you with your allergies, let me know, and I'll be sure to share them with everyone. Until then, happy crafting.